but I'll keep it simple for you guys. Number one, they all have an agency. Why do they have an agency? Because women are lazy. Okay, that's number one. Number two, they have teams of people that and the agency does this too, by the way, where they're talking to the dudes and they're just upselling content. So like a lot of these girls that like have OnlyFans, especially if it's free or super low, what they'll do is they're like, oh, watch me hook up with this guy. Watch me do this, do that. Like they'll sell sex videos of themselves, right? For $50, $100, etc. That's where the money is made, my friends. Okay, that is where it's made. And these guys are just upselling this to the guys all the time. And then sometimes, like, if the guys offer a lot of money, the girl will record a personal video for that weirdo, okay? So that's what these agencies do. Like, a lot of these OF girls, like, they'll record per month 100 pieces of content. They'll give it to their agency, and then their agency will deal with everything. The agency will deal with, you know, selling it. They'll deal with upselling it. They'll deal with putting stuff out, putting stuff, you know, what to put, what to not put, etc. Right? They'll do all that shit. And then they'll also tell the girl, like, hey, you need to post this, you need to do that, you need to film this, blah, blah. Because, like, the problem with a lot of these OnlyFans girls, and I'm telling you guys this, like, because I know a couple of people that ran these agencies. And actually, I used to see a girl. They used to run an OnlyFans agency. And she told me herself, yo, these girls are the worst. Like, she always used to have to call these girls and talk them off the ledge because they'd be like, oh my God, I feel so useless. Oh my God, I hate this. Oh my God, I can't do this, blah, blah. So she would have to, like, you know, get them to film content, dude. Because it's not easy. Like, a lot of these girls, like, have mental issues and they're sad and all this other, and they're like, you know, all kinds of issue, bro. All kinds of issues. So these agencies handle that for the girls, okay? And obviously they take a portion. They take like 20% sometimes, 10, 20, 30%, whatever. But they do like all the work for the girl. The girl's just like the face, and then they do everything. So, yeah, you're not talking to no chick, bro. Okay? Just keep it real with y'all. You're not talking to no girl, bro. Okay?
Men the fantasies that don't like not like me, because you good, right? I wouldn't buy you a thing. I would say hi.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to because I'm not that don't get.
Okay, got it.
You feel me? When you get, it's easy to get pussy.
I bet there's not people that need to
I'm not
fight
done.
online.
I'm not done talking. Anyways, when you get, it's easy to get, but when you don't get,
all right, let's be honest, man. This guy's fat, ugly chicks, bro.
Denied.
Let's just keep it 1,000. Yo, like this. These are the dudes that are taking down the whales on cruise carnivals, man.
That was easy.
Let's keep it 1 million. Let's keep it all the way 1 million, bro. Like this are tagging whales, walruses, hippopotami. Okay? Notice I said hippopotami, plural.
That was easy.
Okay? You know, tortas, all that shit. Okay? My man is the Shamu Slayer, the Harpoon Manor. Right? The stranger. All right? Let me tell you about, bro. Tag anything that they can. All right? They just do. It is what it is. All right? Now look, I ain't gonna lie. I've had my slow Tuesdays before in the past. It happens. None of us are impervious to it, okay? But especially like this, you best believe, bro. You best believe niggas like this are tagging fat on cruise carnivals, okay? Guaranteed, man.
when you be around, you be trying to get the, you heard?
Okay.
Anyways, let me ask you my question.
Also, like, he's fat too. So like this is a guy, like, no offense, like, you know, bald, fat.
I have an opinion on any
No.
girl out there.
What is your message to young ladies trying to get money out there? Is it start an OnlyFans or go to college? Pick one.
I would say do whatever your heart desires.
No. Pick. Start an OnlyFans or go to college.
Both of them are a waste of time, to be honest with you. College is too.
Just pick one.
Do what they want to do.
No. It's
I'm not, but look at me. I did college and OnlyFans. I'm not.
Well,
go
which
which
one?
one.
Still useless. I did college and OnlyFans. Like that's a W. You're still like, yo, and here's the thing too. You guys got to understand with a lot of these girls that go to college. I don't know if it's me. Maybe I'm an asshole. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Kids that go to college now are way stupider than kids that went to college like 10, 15 years ago. Okay? I'm just going to keep it a million with y'all. College has clearly become like a business, and they're just trying to make as much money as possible because college prices, tuition, has went up significantly. I went to Northeastern, I'll never forget, fall of 2009. Northeastern back then was roughly 30 to 40K. I look now, that's like 70 to 80K, bro. Like, what? What? Insane, dude. Insane. Okay, insane. So, and I've noticed too, like when I'm on college campuses talking to these kids, I'm like, yo, these are. Remember, guys, I went to college too. Okay? Like I went to Northeastern, graduated in 2013, right? So, and it's a good school now. Only 6% of the kids go there or get accepted. It's like near Ivy right now, right? It's better than when I went. But I find it incredible how, you know, when I go to these campuses, like these kids are stupid. They're dumb. They're so dumb. So, anyway. Yeah, college is not what it used to be, dude. Like, it used to be you got to be intelligent to get into school. Now they're just letting anybody in, bro, to make money.
Bumbucka! Worked out
you
better.
wanna do?
Which one worked out better?
OnlyFans. But
Why?
they don't work for everybody.
Why?
This
Why
don't
did
work
OnlyFans work out better?
for me?
This girl has a, dude, what? Why does she have a big-ass dome? How are you retarded with a head? That's crazy work, man. You're going to have a big head. At least be intelligent.
Because I salute you. I'm not knocking you. But why did OnlyFans work out better than going to college? And what?
Oh.
So how many more of these would it take for you to quit OnlyFans right now?
Well, I feel like I got a couple goals I got to meet before I quit.
I didn't ask you that.
Yeah, she's not, bro. And the funny part, like with these OF girls, is like they never quit. And I'll tell y'all why. They never quit because, number one, they don't invest it. Number two, they start to get a very high cost of living. They acquire just an enormous amount of debt, right? And they can't quit. They can't quit because they get used to a certain lifestyle. That lifestyle pays them a certain amount of money, and they don't want to lose that lifestyle. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is the investments don't keep up with the lifestyle, and they don't want to degrade the lifestyle, so they don't quit. Like, it's just like a never-ending cycle. And that's assuming if they even invest aggressively in the first place, which they never do. They almost never invest intelligently and aggressively. So that's the issue. Sorry, guys. I don't know why the YouTube chat's not showing up for you guys on screen. It's only Kick and OSS and Rumble. Oh, there we go. Now YouTube is showing up. I had to refresh that shit. But yeah. You know, so that's what it is. That is the conundrum that OF girls deal with, right? They make the money, right? 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K a month. They don't have a skill set, right, to make them that kind of money, right? So what ends up happening is they have to keep doing the OF to make that money. Now, when they make that money, instead of putting it into real estate or some other asset class, right, to make residual income in their sleep and shit like that, they just buy liabilities. New cars, new apartment, bags, clothing, a bunch of dumb shit, a bunch of stupid shit, right? And what ends up happening is their bills go up as a byproduct of that. So let's say they're making, for easy purposes, $100,000 a month, right? Some of these top OF girls, they make more than that. Some of them make more. But their bills are like $70K, right? To pay the staff, pay the agency, all this other stuff. Their bills are like $70. And then they have like 30, and then they don't invest any of that shit. They use it, I give somebody here, da-da-da, and then boom. Next thing you know, they're broke. End of the month. Right? Now, to give you guys like a basic assessment, right? To make, because let me give you guys like, I'm going to try to explain this to you guys in a way. So for you to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, right, off real estate, right, you're going to need to control around $2 million, right, in real estate to make somewhere between 5 to 10K a month, like off like rents, etc. Now that's a very general number, very general. But somewhere between, if you want to make 5 to 10K a month off real estate, you need to control somewhere between $1 to $2 million worth of assets. Okay, me being very rough here. So what ends up happening is you have to own a lot of real estate to make, a decent amount of you have to own a decent amount of real estate to make 5K, 10K, 20K a month, etc. Passive. Okay? The goal is you make the money. This is how you guys this is how you guys build wealth. Okay? Let me tell you guys how to do this shit. This is what they're not going to teach you. And this is what a lot of these women don't know. And that's why they end up broke even after making all this money, and these celebrities, because they're. This is how you actually build wealth so you don't have to work again and you don't end up on a rat race forever. Clip this, write it down, whatever. You make money, whether it's a job, you start a business, whatever it may be. That's called earned income, all right? You take that earned income and you put as much of it as you possibly can into an asset class that gives you passive income, aka like real estate. Now, really 100% passive? Of course not. You're going to have to deal with tenants. You're going to have to deal with all this other bullshit. Clip this, write it down, whatever. You make money, whether it's a job, you start a business, whatever it may be. That's called earned income, all right? You take that earned income and you put as much of it as you possibly can into an asset class that gives you passive income, aka like real estate. Now, is there anything really 100% passive? Of course not. You're going to have to deal with tenants. You're going to have to deal with all this other bullshit. But I'm saying passive as a more of a placeholder term in this case. It's not earned where you're spending time to make money. Does that make sense? Now, once you make this money, earned income, you take the earned income and invest it and buy real estate, right? Or an asset class that makes you money. I like real estate. We'll just use real estate, right, to make things simple. But you can buy cryptocurrency. You can invest in the stock market. You can invest in index funds, etc. But I think real estate is by far the best asset class to invest in because, number one, you get appreciation, which you get appreciation of the property. It's always going to go up to some degree, right? If you hold it long enough, it's always going to appreciate. Number two, you get real income from tenants, right, paying you rent. You get tax write-offs that you can write off. Okay, some of the most aggressive tax you get some of the most aggressive tax write-offs from real estate. Okay? You hedge against inflation because remember, you buy the property, it goes up in value, but you bought it or secured a loan, 30-year fixed or whatever, at a certain rate, at a certain cost. So every year that passes by, as the dollar gets weaker, that's a hedge for you because guess what? You're paying less for the property, but it's going up in value. Right? So it's a good way to hedge against inflation, interestingly enough. So it's inflation proof. Now, earned income, put into assets, gives you passive income. The passive income is what you can use for the. Okay? Never take your earned income and buy liabilities like a new car, like a house that doesn't make you money, or like, jewelry, dumb shit, right? Dinners, travel, all this dumb ass shit that women like to spend money on because they're fucking. Okay? Your earned income goes into assets. Those assets pay you back. That's the passive income. Then you can use that on nigga. Or if you're smart, you take that passive income, combine it with your earned income, and buy even more assets and keep your costs low. Okay? That's the best way to do it. Earned income goes to assets. Assets start to make you money, you can use it. But if you're really smart, you take that asset income and then you take this earned income, combine it, buy even more assets. And that, my friends, is how you get out the rat race. Because what ends up happening is, after a period of time, you figure out how much money you need to live. Let's say you need $10K a month to live. Let's say you need that to live, right? And I'm going this because it's an easy number. Well, if you control $2 to $3 million in real estate, you'll probably hit that number. Then you can decide, do I want to work? Do I want to chill? Do I want to work on my free time, right? You choose. But the point is you bought your freedom. But I want you guys to get to a position where you could choose if you want to still work or not. You don't want to be 70 years old, Walmart, telling, right? And a lot of them are rude assholes and don't go back or something like that. You don't want to be a Walmart greeter, bro, at 60 years old, 70 years old. Now, if you got a bunch of real estate, you make money and you want to do that shit, that's different. That's different. But I want you guys to be working from a position where you want to do it versus you have to do it. I don't want you guys to have to, wake up and be like, oh my God, I hate my life and shit like that. So earned income goes to assets. The passive income you make from the assets, then you can go buy. But if you're really smart, that passive income you get from the assets, you combine it with your earned income, aka your job, and then you put it together and you buy even more assets and you buy your freedom faster. And this is shit that nobody's going to teach you. They're not going to teach you this in high school. They're going to teach you this in college. They're going to teach you how to be a wage slave. They're going to teach you to trade time for money. You don't want that shit. That's why the assets help you with not having to worry about trading time for money. Now, trading time for money in the beginning, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. As a matter of fact, I tell you guys all the time, get a regular job. There's nothing wrong with trading time for money in the future, but you don't want to always have to do that. You trade time for money in the beginning so you can start buying assets, then you slowly start to wean off on that shit. Or you find a way to get a high income skill so you don't have to put as much time. Because what ends up happening is if you have a high income skill, you can go ahead and use that skill and create impact. And that impact will make you money versus trading time. Right? When you have a high income skill, you're able to charge and make money based off of your skill and impact and results versus having to trade your time for money. Okay? And I don't want you guys to trade time for money for the rest of your life. In the beginning, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And then also, let me address this one last thing. This whole, laptop lifestyle, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to make a bunch of money online. I'm going to be traveling to Aruba and making thousands of dollars in my sleep. I'll keep it thousands with y'all, nigga. Bro, for most of you guys, that's not what's going to happen. Okay? I'm sorry. A lot of you guys are not going to be able to do that shit. All right? The laptop lifestyle isn't for everybody, and a lot of times it's a scam. There's nothing wrong with working a regular job. There's nothing wrong with getting a paycheck. There's nothing wrong with, going to school to pursue an actual career. You want to be a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. There's nothing wrong with any of these jobs. The internet ain't for everybody, bro. It's really not. Okay? It's really not. So I don't want you guys to have this facade that, I want to have this laptop lifestyle or I want to be an entrepreneur off rip. There's nothing wrong with having a regular job. Now, the thing is this, when you have a regular job, you have to be far more intelligent about how you invest. Obviously, you don't make as much money, so you have to be way more aware of what the you're doing. Okay? You have to save more aggressively. You have to keep your bills lower. You have to keep your lifestyle lower. You have to be far more cognizant, okay, of your spending habits when you make less money or have a regular job. But you can absolutely become financially free from a job too. Don't let any of these motherfuckers fool you. It might take longer. It might be harder, but you can definitely do it. Okay? You're just going to have some delayed gratification in the beginning. Like what I did, right, to get my freedom was I worked for the government, as you guys know, right? I was a special agent making $120,000 a year, right? After being an agent for 7 years. After I did that, I started a fitness business. I hired a coach, Brandon Carter, shout out to him. I hired him, I think I spent $6,000 whatever, which was a lot of money for me back then. A lot, right? That was a bunch of money for me. So I spent that, then I started my fitness business. I was able to double my income. I started making around $300,000 a year. Okay? I made $150 to $180 with the fitness business. So what I did was, with that extra money from the fitness business, I saved it. I used my regular job to pay for my regular bills, and then I saved the money I made from my fitness business. That's the money I used to start up Fresh and Fit, bro. Okay? All the upfront costs of Fresh and Fit, I paid for with my fitness business. Cost me roughly $40,000 to get the new studio, to get the lights, to get the equipment, etc. I funded all that shit. Okay? Paid for it, got it. And I was still doing my YouTube channel, etc. But I was able to put a good amount of money into my YouTube channel up front, Fresh and Fit, which was, at the time, it was Unplugged Fitness. Then I changed it to Fresh and Fit, etc. And I was able to get good cameras, good audio, all that shit from the beginning. I was recording 4K videos on my first YouTube video. Why? Because I had the money that I saved from my fitness business and from my job. And then I was able to transition into entrepreneurship from my job. Now, if it were up to me, I would have stayed doing both. But I'll tell you guys, that first year or two that I was doing my fitness business and doing my job, I was barely sleeping because I remember, guys, I was a go-getter agent. I was doing big cases, all this shit. I wasn't like one of these like loser that'll go in at 9, leave at 5. No, bro, I was like up all night, writing reports, going to the office at like 7 p.m., be there till 3 a.m., come back, train clients online, deal with them, whatever, and then go back and work again. So like I was working all the time. I had to take a back seat. Fun had to take a back seat. I pretty much quit drinking. Like I wasn't partying like that. None of that shit. Right? So that's what it took. Right? That's what it took. I took the money from my real job, invested in a business, right? Which obviously could turn into an asset. That business made me money. And then I invested it into the studio, which made even more money with the show. And it grew too fast because that's when they brought me in and they said, hey, you got to pick one, bro. And that's when I ended up leaving the government. So that's what I mean. So you could take that money from your career and put it into a business and make money. Or you could have just done it where I could have done it where, okay, I'm going to take that money, I'm going to buy real estate. I could have bought real estate instead. Right? I could have bought real estate instead and been good that way. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is your earned income needs to go into assets that are going to eventually make you free where you don't need to earn that income anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you.